George, talking a little bit about the parent assembly, what got you involved in the first place, and when was that?
First of all, I worked at a magic shop in 1949, 1950. In 1950, they closed one of these shops. Max Hogan had shops in Philadelphia, Boston, and New York. Philadelphia shop closed, so I was the last one hired. I was the first one to go. So 1950, a guy came in from Philadelphia, and Frank Garcia was the manager at the time. And I went into show business in 1951. I became a cruise ship performer. I did 2 cruise ships and quit. I used to get sick every trip. Anyway, so when I got into show business, I stayed in show business for many. I didn't see another magician until 1958. I was working. I didn't work with other magicians. I worked with acts, singers, dancers, comics, but never another magician.
What do you mean by that?
I played a variety of places, but I didn't work with a magician on the bill. So I didn't see very many magicians.
What kind of places were those?
I played the Catskill Mountains every weekend. I played banquets. I played a couple of cruise ships. I do all kinds of what we used to call a club date. They book an act and you go in and do your thing. And I used to work nightclubs, little nightclubs all along the Sunrise Highway in Queens. There used to be a bunch of little clubs. And every Friday, Saturday night I would work the clubs. One place in Brooklyn called Foffy's. I went in there one night, and the guy with a bent nose and a real crook. And I did my show. And he says, I'll see you next week. I said, I didn't want to work there again. I said, no, I'm busy next week. He says, I'm going to see you next week. And the agent says, you got to go there. I'll lose my account if you don't go. So I worked there for 12 weeks. Every time I went there, I was afraid I was going to get shot in one of those places. I started out doing magic. Then I used to MC. I discovered that the magic wasn't doing well, but I used to get laughs. So I became a comic. I was a comedian for about a year and a half. But that wasn't doing too well. It was very difficult. If you die as a comic. You're really bad. So I put the magic back in the act, and it saved me. So I became the magic comedian. And so I would do comedy and magic at the same time.
What years are we talking about?
We're talking about 1952 to 1957, 58. 58, I got married, and we had kids, and so I used to do. When the kids were 2, 3 years old, I wanted to send them to nursery school. But we didn't have the money for it, so I traded my magic shows for nursery school time, and I got back into kids shows. At that time, though, I got out of magic for a while. I had to make a living. I was married. Did the wallpaper business. I was in I got into the electronics business. I stayed in the electronics business for 17 years. I was doing magic all the weekends. At the end of the 17 years, I had enough. I bought a zigzag and a station wagon. My kids were old enough not to worry about it anymore. And I went full time. That was 1973. Excuse me. At the same time, I was doing books with Frank Garcia. We did magic with cards, magic with everyday objects was later, magic with cards, super subtle card miracles, and then we did other books. I wrote Frank Garcia's early books. It's his material. I won't claim that. But I wasn't doing any close-up magic. I used stand-up. And stand-up and comedy are different than close-up. I started doing close-up in 1972. It was great because you can do close-up anywhere. And as you well know, you walk in a crowd of 2 people, you got an audience.
Before we get past Frank Garcia, can you tell me a little bit about him and what it was like working with him?
Frank and I were friends since 1945, 46. He never wanted to join anything. He was always on the far side. Never joined magic. I used to belong to Peter Pan's Magic Club, 1946, 47. All those kids, a lot of them kids became magicians. And he wanted no part of it, but he used to hang around. And we were friends. When he got the job at Holden's in 1949, he needed somebody to go with him. At that time, Skippy was his name, Norman Jensen. We used to call him Skippy. He got a job doing the first magic show in New York. He was Mr. Magic. And he was doing shows every week, so he quit Tannen's. He quit Holden's, and Frank was working at Tannen's, and he came over to Holden's. And Frank was manager there till 1952, and they closed New York, and Boston was the only one. But Frank and I became very friendly. I didn't see Frank from 1952 to 1957. And we met at a banquet, an S.A.M. banquet. My wife and I went to see a concert in Brooklyn, in New York. What was the name of it? Anyway, we went to see this concert. And in the second theater was a bunch of magicians. They were doing their annual show. It was a salute to magic for Cardini, way back. And so I met other magicians. They said, come on now, we'll have a banquet. At the banquet, I sat next to Frank Garcia. It was like we never were apart. Frank was not a good writer, but he was a great magician. I would say that he had a great many things that were really not original, but he would take a trick and make it something else. The wild card, for example, was Peter Kane. it became Frank Garcia's wild card. So even McDonald Aces became Frank Garcia's Aces. But Frank would take a trick and embellish it. With Frank, he would go for the simplest way to find a trick. If it was complicated, he'd get rid of all the moves and make it the simplest way to go. Like Carol Fox would do the same thing. Carol Fox did stand-up, Garcia did close-up. And Frank and I were very friendly. We became partners with 1972. We created I wrote them $1 Million Card Secrets. It's all his material. And we used to sit down at a table for dinner. And Frank was a good cook, by the way, great cook. And we had a bottle of wine, actually it was liquor. And we would drink as we were doing. He said, I like the chicken, just put it in the book. We'll put it in the book. Anyway, he said, how's the chicken? I said, great, let's put it in the book. So the first book, we had a recipe in the back of the book for chicken. Then we decided to do another book. We were in Holden's one, Tannins. And I said, why'd you read my book? He said, I don't like chicken. So the next one, we did a meatloaf recipe for super solid. And we did another recipe in the Amadeo book. And the nutshell book, all the nutshell. After that, we stopped. I got a deal with, we had our magic school in 1973, 74. And we had about 7 or 8 people each time. One guy was a guy named Bob Reese, who was a toy manufacturer. He wanted to put a trick on the market, and he wanted to learn some magic. So he came to our school, and he said, you guys got to consult with me. And we became his consultants. And we did 3 magic sets with him. Reese Magic, all the magic sets, there's 23 kits. Reese Magic became very popular. He went to department stores and little individual tricks. And we used to travel the country for him. He sent us to department stores, we saw people in half and do stuff. Frank was not a player. If he got a better booking, he'd take it. I said, Frank, we got a contract. So I got a call, I was in California. Reese said to me, you got to go to Texas. What do you mean Texas? I'm in California. He said, Frank didn't want to do Texas. So after that, he got rid of Frank. And so we had Magic with Cartridge with Frank. Then he wanted another book. I said, Frank, let's do another book. Frank said, no, we're going to do my SpongeBob book. I said, no, I got this book. So we separated it. And I did the $1 Million Card. After $1 million, we did Super Subtle. And then I went into Magic with Everyday Objects, which became a very popular book. Still in print, by the way.
Yeah.
$16. Or if you go for show business, $15.95. But anyway, yeah, I'll give you this go.
Thank you.
That book is still in print, by the way. What bothers me about that is the contracts back then were different than now. Today you can print on demand. My contract with Magic with Everyday Objects says as long as the publisher has stock, they have the rights. When he runs out of stock, I get the rights back. But I'll never run out of stock. I can order 10 books, I'll print them. So I'm looking into that. There's got to be some legal way out. And my lawyer, Warren Capps, can't figure that out yet. He's working on it, but he's not a lawyer anymore. He's retired.
Right.
But that's what I'm working on. After that, I did books on my own. I went into, what's the name of the big collector? Where is he? In Kentucky. Collector. Well-known, has got his own. What's his name? It's right on the tip of my tongue.
I can't remember.
Anyway, I went to visit him, and he brought me down. He said, I want you to sign all of your 14 books. I said, I only have 12. He said, no, you have 14. I said, I've got only 12. He took me to this library, and I had 14 books. He'd forgotten, I wrote a book for Mayor Yedid. I wrote a book for Jim Zachary. I wrote a book for Father Cyprian. So 3 of those books were not really mine. I wrote they were their books, really. I just wrote them for. What's interesting, when Frank Garcia and I dissolved the partnership, he went on to do his own books. And Charlie Reynolds got in touch. Remember Charlie Reynolds? He said to me, he says, the Frank Garcia books that you did earlier, he says, you did those, didn't you? I said, well, yeah, I worked with Frank. He said, but they're your books. He said, because the later books are not the same style. He said, it's totally different. He said, they're terrible. I said, thank you very much. They're not terrible, they're good books. No, he said, your books were good. I said, thank you. But I appreciate that. But I didn't have the rights to those books. When Frank died, I made a deal with his son. And we're still around. And so he and I are friendly. We exchange Christmas cards. And I got an offer to do Magic with Cards again, but I don't know technically who owns the rights to that.
I'm sure you could figure it out.
Well, according to when Frank remarried, I assumed his wife got some of the credit on it. Sam Schwartz told me that there was no will, so maybe somebody, I don't know where it is.
Is that book out of print, Magic with Cards?
Yeah. You can find them on eBay.
Yeah.
You get it for $1.
It's a good book. I mean,
It was a very good book. We wrote that book very easy. We have a card trick is made up of a location, and a revelation. That's a card trick. You locate it and you reveal it. So I did a bunch of locations on an index card and a bunch of revelations, and we shuffled them together and paired them all, and that's how we wrote this book. And the most important trick in the book was the key card. You could do more with the key card than anything else. This is the trick I just showed you. With the card changes. A key card is what I'm using my corner short as a key card. I've used the corner short. In fact, Mark Witten got a hold of me and he said, "Why are you telling everybody about the corner short? I've been using it for years. What's the secret?" Well, we don't use a crimp anymore. We use a corner short. Nobody's going to know the difference. I started cheating. I do the card to pocket, which is Francis card. This is on my tape. And I used to peek the card, and I had trouble because my glasses were not good. I had to wear glasses. I couldn't peek the card, so I had to wear my glasses. Then I discovered I use a marked deck. I don't have to do any of it. I don't work for magicians. I use work. Right. So then I did a marked deck. It's called the Daredevil deck. It's like the card shop. You can see that card from here. Spectators don't know it. And it's terrific. Yeah. Of course, they're expensive, but you're getting paid for it. Yeah. I just stopped working the castle this past year. I don't work it anymore. I worked it for 10 years, probably every year, every March, on my birthday. And it was a pleasure. I used to do 23 shows a week, sometimes 24 a week. It was a great experience. You do 3 a night. And all the rest of the time you're doing nothing. I said, I'm 90 years old already. I'm not going to do nothing. I'm sitting in California and look at my walls. I've seen all the sights. So I stopped doing the castle.
What about parent assembly, George? What was it like when you joined?
In 1963, I joined the IBM first. My friend Lee Noble, who was a member at that time, and so he and I joined together. And then I got involved with the guys in parent assembly. When I was working at Holden's, the guys in parent assembly used to come up and they wouldn't talk to us kids. We were 18, 20 years old. They didn't want to have anything to do with us. We couldn't join until we were 21. That's ridiculous. So I joined the IBM. Anyway, in 1963, we were at a banquet. Doc Abe Hurwitz said to me, "Why don't you come down?" I joined. And immediately they started getting me involved in committees. And the first thing I became was the guy at the door, the sergeant at arms. And the first guy I had to throw out was Jose De La Torre, who came. I wasn't allowed to let him in. He wasn't a member. And so we kidded about that. He died some years ago. So anyway, I became that, and then Jim Zachary became president, and I became a delegate nationally. And nationally intrigued me, because National is a big organization, and we still have about 6,000 members, where the IBM has 10, 12,000. But the S.A.M. is very exclusive. I became public relations chairman, and I've been doing that ever since. I still do it, even if I got the title with it. And I just got a thing from the Magic Castle Circle. They made me an honorary member. It's very nice, with gold star.
Oh, that's great.
Magic was very good to me. I really must say, when I left my job in the electronics business in 1972, and ever since then I've been a magician full time. I've done everything. The only thing I did a movie. The only thing I haven't done is a Broadway show. Ricky Jay beat me to that. Ricky Jay, by the way, I do a trick called Seal Surprise. It's very difficult to explain, but it's a very simple trick. Where a borrowed deck, a card is signed, and it leaves the borrowed deck, it appears in a sealed pack. And Sean Farquhar was playing with the idea. He got in touch with me, and I gave him some tips on it. And he did it at a Penn and Teller show and fooled him. But when he did that, he said, "This is George Schindler's trick." And I thought that was very nice of him. He didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
So that became my trick. But anyway, Ricky Jay did it on the Johnny Carson show. I said, "Ricky, where did you learn that trick?" He says, "My grandfather taught it to me." His grandfather was Max Katz, who I taught it to when I sold him for $1. I used to sell a trick for $1 or $2. At that time, we used to give a seal. Since they improved the trick, I can give the deck away at the end of the show, which I do in the castle.
And Ricky used to come to the parent assembly meetings with his grandfather, right?
Max Katz, yeah. He was 9 years old when I first met him. Potash was his name. Ricky Potash. Not Ricky, was something else. He's a brilliant guy. He was brilliant. We lost a great mind. He was not into magic only. He was into all sorts of things. My favorite magician was Jay Marshall, who was the dean before me. He was the real dean. He was the true dean of the S.A.M. He promoted the S.A.M. He was really great. And when I went to Boston, we were going to the S.A.M. meeting. Who's going to be the dean? They asked me to vote. I voted for David Goodsell, who's been around a long time. And my second runner-up was Hank Morehouse. He never made it. But anyway, so Hank died very early. And I get that. So they gathered me and said, would you like to give up your position as public relations chairman? I said, no, I don't want to give it away. He said, we'd like you to have that. We'd like to do something else. I said, what's up? We'd like you to be the dean. I said, I can still be the dean, but I don't want to give up the PR position. I mean, the dean, what does the dean do? The dean doesn't do very much. As it turns out, this dean still is doing PR, and I write a letter once in a while. It's nice to have it, and it's recognizable. People know me all over the world. I haven't done anything that's so spectacular, except these 7 or 8 tricks that I've been fooling. And I don't do them great either.
You know, I mean, organizations like the S.A.M. and the IBM, and not just in magic, but in every aspect of life,
they're losing members.
having problems. I mean,
The internet has a lot to do with it. And people are not getting together anymore. The country is divided between Republicans and Democrats, and this guy and that guy. The whole country is divided. And it's the same with magic and everything else. Years ago, if you were an IBM member, you wouldn't an S.A.M. member. I joined everything. I remember the S.A.M., the IBM, the Magic Alliance in New Zealand and in Australia. I belonged to all of them. The dudes used to kill me now. I don't pay any more dues. It's great. But the art of magic is not just the magic, it's the people who are in magic. Because you're going to find people from all walks of life, not necessarily full-time professionals. The full-time guys are really honest, straightforward guys, most of them. And they're nice people to know. The guys that the amateurs are always trying to up one another. That's fine. If not for the amateurs, we'd have no new tricks. I was doing the same damn tricks for 25 years. Once in a while, I buy new tricks anyway. I want to see how they work. I handle the card shark line. They got some really great tricks. But they're good tricks, but not for the professional. Many are. I mean, the professional has to do them over and over and over again. You want tricks that are easy to reset that you can just pick up and do. If you could do a palm, a double lift, and a triple undercut, you're in business.
the thing you said about people from all walks of life being involved with magic is really true, and it's really one of the great things. Like you would have somebody like Alan Greenberg, and then you'd have somebody who's a whatever, you know,
a photographer,
or a truck driver, or whatever, you know. Anything. I mean,
and you know, you go, for example, Magic Live, which I didn't go because I can't travel anymore. But I used to go to all these things, and you meet other guys, and you meet a guy, you meet him once and have dinner with him, and you're a friend for life. Yeah. You're on the internet with him, you're on the phone with him. It's really remarkable. I met a guy named Bill Ragsdale, Kentucky, I guess, one of the, I don't know what to call him. I mean, he's one of the, not highly intellectual guys, but he's a real trooper. I know him for 40 years. He was going to meet at Abbott's. I was supposed to meet him this year. And we couldn't meet. So he called me on the phone. He couldn't meet on an hour. And we had the same conversation we had when we first met. We talked about the Trouble With trick, which is a great trick we used to do. And we talked about his ventriloquism. I sold him a vent doll years ago. And he did my Venturama this year. I do it at Abbott's every year because I couldn't go. My wife was ill this year. And he did a good job, I understand. But here's a guy I never knew out of Cliplow from Kentucky. I meet a guy in Kentucky.
Right.
At the castle. I used to do a routine when I used to do my kids show. I used to go to his hotel every couple of times a year. And I do a kids show. And I was the second highest paid kids show performer. The first one was Al Flosso. And Al's contract said he gets $1 more than any other magician. So he was the highest paid. Anyway, at the end of my trick, I say, "You lucky fellow." A kid up from the audience. I do three kids. "You lucky fellow" is my catchphrase. That was back in, I guess, the 50s and 60s. I worked in a Magic Castle last year, 2 years ago. And the guy says to me, "You lucky fellow." I said, "Where the hell did you see that?" He says, "I used to go to grocery stores when I was a kid." It was a great thrill to be remembered for all that.
That's incredible.
It was very nice. First thing you want to do is you want to borrow a bill from somebody. A $100 bill is much more effective. If you can borrow $100, that's great. And as I refer to the bill, I'm going to keep reducing the value. So it's going to be funnier. I'm going to take that's the bill. I need to borrow a ring. This ring will be fine. I'm going to put the bill in the ring, so this way it's all set. So now we have the dollar bill and we have the ring. We're also going to need a $50. Now put your finger on the ring. Watch 1, 2. Don't move. Very slowly. There's the $50. There's the dollar. There's the ring. Everything can be examined. Any questions?
Yeah, how'd you do it?
Very easily. I start out with a $50, but also a folding $50. This folds accordion style. This is in the fingers. The finger lines go the same way the thing folds. And when I borrow the bill, I put this right over it. And I just fold it. And I'm going to fold it the way the thing folds. It folds backwards and forwards. First goes back and then goes back the other way. So now the dollar bill is wrapping the half dollar. It's a folding half. People have no conception that there is such a thing as a folding half. And now that goes in the ring. So what's going to go into the ring? What's going to happen is the ring is going to hold it in place. So nothing's going to happen. Nothing happens until I pull it out. Now I introduce the half. The glass is just for sound. Put this here. Do a pass. Just keep it here. Put your finger on the ring. This goes up. Now very gently, you're going to pull this apart. When you let it go, it opens up. Now at this point, I have the coin here. I'm going to pick this up and stuff the real one in and leave everything for examination.
Yeah, I love that.
It's my favorite trick. I invented this.
Yeah, yeah.
Sam Schwartz saw the trick and he couldn't figure it out. I said, what can I do with a folding half other than the coin in the bottle? He said, there's something with the ring. I'll get you back. In the meantime, I came up with this. It shows us the same. He says, that's not the trick.